What if the biggest crime in One Piece history is still happening right now? Not piracy, not war, not even slavery. The greatest crime in the world of One Piece is the deliberate deletion of an entire century. 800 years of history erased, entire civilizations wiped out, ancient technology buried, and anyone who gets too close to the truth is silenced. Because the Void Century was never just a missing timeline. It was a cover-up. And the deeper you look into the world government, the more it starts to resemble less of a government, and more like the people who got away with murder. The first thing we need to understand is that the Void Century was not forgotten naturally. History does not disappear by accident. Books can burn, cities can fall, but an entire century of global memory does not vanish unless someone makes it vanish. That is exactly what the world government did. They didn't simply hide the truth. They built an entire system around controlling it. The destruction of Ohara proves that. The scholars of Ohara were not terrorists. They were archaeologists. They were historians. They were people asking questions. And for that, the world government launched a buster call and erased an entire island from existence. Why? Because if they were willing to destroy Ohara over a few books, imagine what they are hiding about an entire century. That is why the Poneglyphs matter so much. They are not just ancient stones, they are evidence. The people of the Great Kingdom understood that normal records could be burned, stolen, or rewritten. So they created something that could not be destroyed easily. Massive stone blocks scattered across the world, unbreakable, unmovable, impossible to censor completely. The Poneglyphs are basically the final backup files of a civilization that knew it was about to be erased. And that tells us something terrifying. The people of the Void Century knew they were going to lose, but they also knew the truth would one day come back. The biggest clue comes from the technology. The modern world of One Piece still relies on ships, cannons, manual labor, and basic machinery. But the ancient world? That world had machines powerful enough to survive for centuries. The Iron Giant alone changes everything. Vegapunk, the smartest man alive, could not even fully understand the energy source that powered it. Think about that. Vegapunk has the brain of the future, but he is running on the batteries of the past. The greatest scientist in the modern era is still trying to recreate technology from 800 years ago. That means the ancient civilization was not primitive. It was more advanced than the current world. And maybe that is exactly why it had to be destroyed. Because a world with limitless energy, advanced science, and equal access to knowledge would be impossible for the celestial dragons to control. And now we know the consequences went far beyond erased books and dead civilizations. The world itself may have been reshaped. The Mother Flame, the destruction of entire islands, and the revelation that the sea level has been rising all point towards something terrifying. What if the Void Century was not just a war? What if it was a global terraforming event? What if the world government did not just erase history? They changed the map itself? Because if entire continents were sunk beneath the ocean, then the flood was not a side effect. It was the cover-up. Then we get to the most important figure in all of this. Imu. Because Imu is not just the ruler of the world. Imu may actually be the last living witness of the Void Century. Everything about Imu feels personal. The giant straw hat hidden in Mary Joie's, the room of flowers, the obsession with certain names, the fear of Joy Boy. These are not the actions of someone preserving order. These are the actions of someone haunted by the past, someone who remembers what really happened. And if Imu truly comes from the Void Century, then that changes everything. Because it means the world is not being controlled by descendants of the original criminals. It is being controlled by one of the criminals themselves. The world government teaches that the 20 kings united to create peace, that they saved the world, that they built civilization, that the celestial dragons are the rightful heirs of that legacy. But what if the truth is the exact opposite? What if the 20 kings were not heroes? What if they were conquerors? What if they destroyed the Great Kingdom, stole its land, erased its history, and then rewrote themselves as the saviors of humanity? That would explain everything. Why the Empty Throne exists, why the Void Century is forbidden, why the Poneglyphs are illegal, why Joy Boy's name is treated like a threat. Because the entire world order rests on one giant lie. And if that lie is exposed, then the celestial dragons lose the only thing that gives them power, legitimacy. And now, after 800 years, the cracks are finally starting to appear. Vegapunk has begun exposing forbidden knowledge. Robin can read the Poneglyphs. The Revolutionary Army is attacking the foundations of the world government. Even the Gorosei are being forced out of the shadows. The truth is no longer buried. It is leaking, slowly, piece by piece, island by island. And that is what makes the final saga so dangerous. Because this is no longer a fight between pirates and marines. It is a war between the people who want the truth and the people who built the world on a lie. The Void Century is not dead history. It is an open wound, a crime scene that was never solved. And somewhere beneath the lies of the world government, beneath the empty throne, beneath the ruins of the great kingdom, there is a truth so dangerous that the rulers of the world spent 800 years trying to bury it. But they failed, because no matter how deep you bury history, eventually it digs itself back up. If you made it this far, you already know this isn't just a missing piece of history. It's the foundation of everything. So tell me, do you think the world government erased history or rewrote the entire world? And if you want more deep dives like this, make sure you're subscribed.